How you doing, folks? So this video is really focusing on the intersection function, and while you really may not ever run into a situation where you have multiple graphs showing on your calculator, it's also good to know in case you do for whatever reason. I can think of reasons why, but again, that's probably down the road for some of you. So first of all, I'm doing the intersection of 1/4 x, 1/10 x cubed, and the square root of x. So it looks like this, and the intersection function essentially will give me the point which, this red and the black line meet, or where the red and the blue line meet, and the blue and the black line meet. Well, depending on what I want to find kind of determines how I use this. So the first thing I want to show you is this. So if I go to the second trace, and the first thing, number 5, tells you that you're looking for the intersection. Well, the intersection, you'll bring up first curve. Well, what if I wanted to figure out the red and the black? Well, if I hit this, right now I'm on the red curve. Oh no, actually I'm on the blue curve. Well, that's the reason why we need to pay attention to this, because the way you change this from curve to curve is using the arrow buttons. See how it switches to the black? Do it again, now it switches to the red. So now for the first curve, I can choose this red button right here. Okay. Then it says second curve. And again, if I use my arrow buttons, right now it's on the blue, but I go back, right now it's in the black. So then I can choose enter for that curve. And then it says guess, and then again, make sure you put your cursor where you want to find, which is that point right there. Okay. So that would be a whole reason why using your arrows and having multiple curves can be a pain if you're not familiar with having to use the function with choosing your curve versus just saying enter for the intersection points. Now I'm going to do a bit of review on what I did on a different video with the windows. So say I wanted to figure out the intersection of this black and blue line, which is way off the graph. And again, just kind of review, the way I can figure that out is if I go into my windows, I can change my windows to see it. So like this is the x-axis, so it's going off the x-axis this way. So if I go into my windows, I go into my windows max, I can choose and make this 20 instead, so that when I go back to my graph, now I can see where the blue and black intersect, right? So again, if I go to second trace intersect, now I can choose, well, I want to make sure that I get the blue and the black line. See how if I choose my arrows, it'll switch between them. Well, I want to do my blue and black line, so enter, use my arrow to go to the black line now. There's my second curve, enter. And then again, my guess is going to be this point right over here, like that. Hit enter again, and it says the section is 16 and 4, which is kind of funny because that's kind of perfect. I didn't mean to do that, but it worked out nicely. So that's the intersection function, and then making sure that you use those buttons, because if I wanted to add a fourth line, because I'm going to get crazy here on this one, I'm going to throw something out there for you. Let's just do a log of x, just make it simple. Okay, and I graph it. Now you got my graph didn't show up for some apparent reason. Anyway, zoom standard. Let's see what happens. Oh yeah, it did show. It's just a pink line right here. I didn't see it. So now if I wanted to do an intersection trace 5 for intersect, I want to make sure that I'm able to distinguish between which line that I want. And this is very important because not all calculators have color on them. So you want to make sure you can tell where that curve is at by switching between them. Okay. So that's all for this video. Anyway, I'll see you all around.